Hello. Okay, where to begin? So is the new moon in Gemini, which means the sun and the moon are conjunct. Basically, just they're from the same angle in relation to the Earth. What does this mean? Just like every new moon is the beginning of a new lunar cycle. So we're looking at the next 30 days of growth, of opportunity, of choices to make and life to live. And I think, as always, it's really good to set the intention right now for what we wish to develop over the next 2 weeks, building up to the full moon, but also what we wish to run across the finish line with the remaining 2 weeks of the next month. So after the full moon until the next new moon. In general, this new moon period is going to be about communication, of course. A lot of talking, a lot of leveling as per relationships, trying to get people on the same page, things either working out and people being able to understand and just to have the mental harmony to be able to understand each other and to agree on things, or to at least peacefully and cooperatively, harmoniously disagree, and still be able to be friends or lovers or whatever. Or people are going to realize, oh wow, we really do think so differently, and we need different things. You know, it's a time of realization, and the good stuff, like always, is going to get better, and the challenging stuff, or rather the inharmonious relationships. A big part of this has to do with relationships, since we're dealing with Venus retrograde in Gemini. And so right now Mercury is conjunct Venus, and the Sun will be conjunct Venus over the next couple weeks. The Moon over the next couple days. That's not a huge influence, but that's a big focus. Is the relationships that are supposed to be in our lives are going to get better and are going to continue to grow, and those that aren't supposed to be in our lives, we're supposed to let them go. Or at least reshift priorities. Maybe not completely let them go. It's good to not jump to any conclusions during this time with all this Gemini energy. Take it from somebody who has natal Sun and Mercury in Gemini, and we have transiting Sun and Mercury in Gemini. This is a time. I'm even talking faster than usual. And I talk pretty fucking fast in general. But this is a time where it's just important to not jump to any conclusions. Everything is amped up. We're shifting from Taurus to Gemini. We're still on day 2 of Gemini, so it's not necessarily like full speed ahead. But that being said, we have the new moons. We have Sun, Moon, Venus, and Mercury. Especially Mercury and Sun in Gemini. It's fast. So it's time to think fast, to talk fast. But it's also important to recognize, again, take it from me, personal experience of just life with this energy, to take time to go slow, to make sure that you're really thinking through everything, to make sure you're not just a raw nerve and you're just saying things. You need to breathe and take care of the body, working out regularly so you're not all hyped up, and that's really important. And emotionally too, making sure that you're getting in tune with your heart before speaking, because for the next month, our minds, especially for the next, I would say, week and a half, but even just really the next month, our minds are wired. This is the time of the year to talk, to think, to read, to listen, to learn. We have this insatiable curiosity during this time, and it's wonderful. It's really great. But again, we just, like with everything, we have to temper it, you know? Just like with the last month, we had to make sure we weren't getting too caught up in going step by step and being too practical, or too, not practical, but too potentially getting caught in a rut, which is the challenge with Taurus. Now we have to make sure we don't go too fast so that we don't burn ourselves out, right? The last thing that I want to cover for today is we have Mars in Pisces. This is a very, again, just like every energy, there's no such thing as a good or bad energy. This energy is very sensitive. It's very intense, and I've been seeing it a lot with people around me, and I've been experiencing it too, where it's like, I don't know why, but I just feel this funk. And then I remember Mars is in Pisces. Okay, I think there's so much good stuff. It doesn't mean that we have to be in a funk with this energy. It's just good to be mindful of it. Again, that's the beautiful thing about astrology, is just knowing where the astronomical body is in relation to the Earth gives us a freedom. Even just a couple of days ago, and I'm like, I feel kind of down. This is weird. Mars is in Pisces. Oh, okay, cool. I can work with this. And then working with it to, okay, the good parts of that energy, being generous and being selfless, and being able to heal ourselves and others. And it's really great to be motivated to do these things more than ever, because that's what Mars is all about, is be motivated. So that's the best parts of it. But, you know, I think something that's poignant about this energy during this time is we're going through, I didn't come up with this term. I love this term, though. I heard it about 3 weeks ago, a collective trauma. with the COVID situation, where people are scared, they're confused, it's difficult. So much has been called into questions. We're all in this together, and that's the beautiful thing, where nobody can just really pretend like it doesn't exist. We all have to go to the grocery store. We all have to, this is a reality for all of us, and trying to figure out employment situations too with this, and assistance, and this, it's a lot. So I think that around the world, especially since this is happening globally, that's a big part of this as well. It's good to not project and say, oh, it's not me that that's feeling this funk, or I don't need to make any changes in my life. It's the world. I can just say, pin it on the world. It's the world. It's good to not do that. It's important to keep that in mind, that as individuals we can always, even if collectively we have a certain kind of rise in the tide, a certain wave, whether it's mental or in this case emotional. I mean, it's mental as well, but this emotional wave of what's going on in the world, of holy shit, this has never happened before, or at least not in our time, and 100 years ago, sure, but what do we do, and what does this mean, and oh God, my loved ones, it's again, it's a lot. And especially with all this Gemini energy, it's easy to overthink and then send us into that whirlwind of depression. So let's be mindful that, let's just recognize what's going on. Let's call it for what it is. Let's focus on the truth. That's what Gemini loves. That's what Gemini needs. What is happening? What is accurate? What is a real detail? What is true? What is honest? And that'll help tremendously. And as per the Pisces Mars, if you do feel like you're in a funk, this is a really great time to heal. That's what this is all about. Very often with an energy, we experience a challenge, and then we with that challenge, whatever the energy or whatever the challenge might be, we can, as long as we just are able to identify what it is and then look at it and work with it and just stay focused with it, we can overcome that challenge and add that actually to our tool belt, and let it sublimate it to make it a negative into a positive. So to make this negative into a positive, it's just good to ask, okay, what am I feeling? How do I heal from this? How do I move forward? If need be, cry. Do what you have to do emotionally to express it. Don't dwell in it. Don't make it a swamp. Emotions are like water. It needs to flow to be healthy. And water actually symbolizes emotion. The more sensitive, introspective emotions that we experience in life. It's been used as a symbol for thousands of years. So, hence the water signs like Pisces. So, ask yourself how you can heal. And if you need more information, that's what all this Gemini energy is about. Let's learn. Okay, what do I need to learn to be able to help my emotional well-being? That's a big focus during this time. And again, it's good to keep in mind that collectively, there's a lot of heaviness. And so if you go outside to a grocery store or wherever, and people are a little down, or they act, tense towards you or whatever, just keep that in mind. It's probably not you. It's probably the global pandemic. But again, balancing. So keeping in mind the collective, what's going on during any time, but especially during this time. And also as an individual, okay, even with this happening globally, what can I do as an individual to grow, to develop, to move forward, to heal, to learn? So if we're working with these energies, then we're going to be able to make incredible insights, revelations, that help us during this time and beyond. And that help our relationships too. Infinite love to you, my friend. Namaste.